Hey, what is going on guys? Danny here, and in this video, I'll be showing you guys how you can update or flash the BIOS on your Gigabyte Aorus AX370 Gaming 5 motherboard that has the AM4 socket for the latest Ryzen CPUs from AMD. If you also have the AX370 Gaming K3, K5, K7, and even the B350 chipset boards, this method will also work for those boards. Now before I show you guys how you can go about flashing your BIOS, I just quickly wanted to talk about why you should update or flash your motherboard's BIOS, and why it's a good idea to keep up with the updates coming out. One reason why someone might want to update their BIOS is because it might help with system stability and hardware compatibility. In this case with Ryzen and AM4, many users have reported that they are not able to run their RAM at its advertised clock speeds and timings. This problem is mostly present with memory that is manufactured by Hynix or Micron, whereas memory that had Samsung B-Die seems to be the most stable currently on the Ryzen platform. But don't worry, AMD have addressed this issue and have planned a big ACE update for this month, which will help fix a lot of issues people have been experiencing with their RAM. In fact, some manufacturers have been posting beta BIOS updates on their forums, so it's always a good idea to check those out. You'll find that motherboards currently are using BIOS with the ASA 1004 microcode, and the new update will include the 1005 microcode update, which contains 20 plus memory registers in Ryzen's memory controller, so it should most likely help improve compatibility and alleviate issues. Adding to that, I've seen people report that updating their BIOS had helped them achieve a better overclock or allowed them to run their overclock settings at lower voltages, and that's great because lower voltages means a better CPU lifespan and component longevity, lower power consumption, and lower heat. Adding to that, it's not just Ryzen that benefits from BIOS updates, any platform or system can benefit from a BIOS update. Last year, I made a video where I showed a BIOS update had helped dramatically increase the boot times of my 950 Pro M.2 NVMe SSD, which was installed on my Intel system, simply because the previous BIOS update or BIOS version that I was using didn't properly support NVMe. Another reason why you should pay attention to BIOS updates is because they could also help boost performance. Furthermore, sometimes when AMD or Intel release new CPUs, they might actually be using the same previous socket. An updated BIOS can allow one to use new CPUs on an older motherboard. In fact, AMD have claimed that AM4 will continue to be used until 2020 or 2021. So now that I've gone over a few reasons why it's generally a good idea to pay attention to BIOS updates and why you may want to update your BIOS, let's move on to the tutorial part of this video. Okay, so first thing you want to do is make sure you have a USB flash drive that is or can be formatted to a FAT32 storage format. Please ensure that it is FAT32, otherwise the motherboard will not recognize the USB and it will go back into Windows or go into its boot override mode. You can easily format a USB drive in Windows 10 using the formatter option. I know that Gigabyte and other manufacturers offer utility programs to update the BIOS through Windows, but I don't recommend you use them. Sure, it's more convenient, but if the process fails or you get interrupted by an update from Windows, there is a good chance you could break your motherboard. Trust me, I've seen it happen. Just update directly through the motherboard, even if it is a little bit of a hassle. Once you've obtained and formatted your USB flash drive, you're going to want to head over to Gigabyte's support website, which will be where you can download the updated BIOS for your motherboard. I'll have links down below in the video description to make it easier for you guys. In order to find a specific motherboard, click on the top where it says products, and in my case I'm using the Aorus AX370 Gaming 5, so I'll click on Aorus. Here you can filter out motherboards according to different chipsets and whether it's for an AMD or Intel socket. So by doing that, I was able to narrow down the amount of products that were shown. So the motherboard that I will click on is right here, the Gaming 5. So then it will take you to the product page of the motherboard. Click on support and then click on BIOS. Here it will list all the BIOS files which are available for you to download. The BIOS that I'm currently using is the F5G Beta BIOS, which I obtained from the Gigabyte forums, and I want the official F5 BIOS, so I'm going to go ahead and download that. Once you've downloaded it, you want to copy and paste the file into the root of the USB flash drive that you formatted earlier. So that's basically everything you need to do in Windows. Next, go ahead and restart your computer and jump into the BIOS. Once you're in the BIOS, you're going to want to go ahead and head over to the Save and Exit section and press Load Optimize Defaults. What this will do is reset any overclocks and other settings you may have applied to their factory defaults. I highly recommend doing this since flashing a BIOS which has an overclock applied to it could potentially break your motherboard. Afterwards, hit Save and Exit and restart your system. Now instead of hitting delete to enter the BIOS, I'm going to hit the N key, which will take me directly to the QFlash menu, where I will be able to find my USB. So here I can see that the BIOS has detected my USB, and in the QFlash menu it gives you the option to load the new BIOS or save your existing one, just in case you want to make a backup, which I think is pretty convenient. There's also a drop down menu from the bottom so you can select a different flash drive. So I'm going to select my USB and I can see there's the new BIOS file. Once I've selected that, it's going to give me the option to run. So once I press run, it will start to update or flash the BIOS to the newer version. Once it's done, it will restart your system. Here you guys can see that it did indeed update to the F5 BIOS. Well guys, that wraps up this tutorial on how to flash the BIOS on the Gigabyte Aorus AX370 Gaming 5 motherboard. If you found this video to be helpful and informative, then hit that like button. Let me know any questions or thoughts down below in the video description, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thanks for watching guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.